morning I begin without 1,000 questions running through my mind, that I don't try to find the reason and the logic in the world that God designed, the reason why a bird was given wings, if not to fly and praise the sky with every song it sings. What's right or wrong, where I belong within the scheme of things. And why have eyes that see and arms that reach unless you're meant to know there's something more? If not to hunger for the meaning of it all, then tell me what a soul is for. Why have the wings unless you're meant to fly? And tell me please, why have a mind if not to question why? And tell me where is it written what it is I'm meant to be, that I can't dare to find the meanings in the mornings that I see, or have my share of every sweet imagined possibility. Just tell me where, or if it's written administration, staff, parents, and most notably the class of 2013 and the class officers, thank you for this honor tonight. Many of you may be wondering, what the heck was that all about? What is that song that Mr. Haley just tried to sing? Is there a message? Or does he simply have early onset dementia? Well, I will get to that later. It is hard to believe that 31 years ago, not unlike a night like this one, I was in attendance at the class of 1982 Baccalaureate here at South High School. Yep, feel free to do the math. I have been out of high school a little over 1.5 times longer than you have been alive. In preparation for this auspicious night, I rifled through my old plastic tub buried in my basement. In it is memorabilia from not only high school, but also remembrances of awards that I've received and other things, a time capsule of sorts, with trivia that sparks memories. Well, for example, I found this information in my crate. Here's a quiz for not only students, but also your parents. Can you recall, parents, what the #1 song of 1982 was? No! Let's Get Physical by Olivia Newton-John. Yeah. What about the 1982 highest grossing film? Close for you sci-fi aficionados, it was Blade Runner with a very young Harrison Ford. Politically, there was a lot going on in 1982. Ronald Reagan was the President of the United States. The first CD player was being sold in Japan. The Weather Channel started airing on cable TV for the first time, and the first issue of the USA Today was published. And here's one that all of you I hope can relate to. Disney's futuristic park, Epcot, was opened. As you can see, times sure have changed since 1982, haven't they? Even graduating seniors' personal journeys have changed over time. Back then, it was not unheard of for graduating adults. Hey, the drinking age was 18 back then, to get married straight out of high school, go into the military, the workforce, or get a post-secondary education. Whereas in 2013, most people would agree that couples are waiting until their mid to late 20s to consider marriage, and entering the job force directly after high school without any additional training could hurt you economically. Back in 1982, though, I was going to attack life differently. I moved out to Southern California, where I was going to hit it big. I was going to be the next huge movie star. Yeah. But unfortunately, no one told me that there would be so much competition and that there wasn't a huge casting call for gangly-looking teenagers who had cheesy mustaches, were 40 pounds underweight, and worse, were underconfident. Although this career aspiration didn't come to fruition, hey, journeys are like that. You may be taking more paths than one on your journey. I still see the years as 1982 and 83 as defining moments for me in my growing up, my growing into me. While I worked full-time at a department store in California, I enrolled at Los Angeles Valley College, taking night classes. I was unfulfilled at my job and knew that I could not be satisfied there on a long-term basis. In fact, there was a movie that I did see in '83 which served as the catalyst for me to reassess where I was and what I was doing. That excerpt that I sang in my introduction was from that movie. It was an Academy Award-winning Best Original Scored film called Yentl. This film is about a Jewish girl in the turn of the century Poland who decides to dress and live as a man so she can receive an education in Talmudic law, which was forbidden for women. So how did this film speak to me? Well, rest assured, I am Mr. Hailing, not Miss Hailing with the bad hairdo. Gender aside, I believe that I shared some commonalities with the main character. I was unwilling to accept life as I was currently living it. I wanted more. I had a thirst of curiosity and ambition that was not being quenched by working at my job. And I wanted a new direction in which I combined my skills with what I enjoyed, working with and making a difference for others. Seeing this film was a defining moment to push me in becoming an English teacher and 2 master's degrees later, a school counselor. Well, enough about me, huh? So how does all of this relate to you and where your journeys are taking you? There are perceptions about your generation that reflect on the types of journeys that you may already be on, some good, some maybe not so good. Being part of what some have labeled as Generation Y or the Millennials, people born between 1980 and 2000, people point out that your generation is the first to live under constant influence of your peers, which may be detrimental. Your cell phones allow you to socialize at any hour, and according to Pew Research, you text on average, parents help me out if this is accurate, 88 times per day. Parents higher? The Time magazine's May 20th, 2013 edition cover touts the me generation. Millennials are lazy, entitled narcissists who still live with their parents. Narcissists, you know what that means? So this is when a person is too egotistical, is vain, or has excessive pride. So in the article, reporter Joel Stein states that your generation has 3 times the number of people identified with narcissistic personality disorder than any other generation before it. You may be tweeting what you think or how you feel to your followers. You may be posting your status updates for your friends on Facebook. Does having too much access to social media make you feel more important than you really are? And you have grown up on reality shows that are really just documentaries about narcissists. Keeping Up with the Kardashians? Really? Really? Jersey Shore? Why do we idolize those who self-promote at such an unhealthy level? Are you defined by the number of hits, likes, or followers that you have? Did Copernicus call you up and tell you that, yes, you truly are the center of the universe? Well, thankfully, the Time magazine did a great job to balance out this perception by also reporting the positive attributes of millennials, and I share these sentiments. Your generation is so far ahead of where I was at your age. This generation is said to be a generation of thinkers. An Army recruiter in the Time article said, quote, "The generation that we enlisted when I first started recruiting was sort of do. This generation is think about it before you do it," he says. This generation is 3 to 4 steps ahead. They're coming in saying, I want to do this. Then, when I'm done with this, I want to do this. This validates my interactions with my seniors. Many of you came in your freshman year with realistic and very definite career goals, and you are currently pursuing the same ones. Regardless if your plan includes a 4-year, 2-year education, military, or the workforce, you have thought through your options and currently have a clear journey in sight. I don't think any of you have said you wanted to become movie stars without a plan B. So your generation is also said to be nice, tolerant of others, optimistic, and looking at new experiences being more important than material goods. I hope this continues and that you instill this along the way with the others that you meet along your journey. In my experience with graduating class, I find that you are a resilient group of students. You are able to utilize your coping skills so that you are able to overcome many of life's obstacles. Look at what the world has thrown in your path within your 4 years of high school. Massive earthquakes hit Haiti and Japan, the Gulf of Mexico oil spill, Superstorm Sandy, terrorists and political figures falling around the world, shootings at movie theaters and elementary schools, bombings, and terrible tornadoes in Oklahoma. 4 years, though, have brought you some other neat things that have really tested our resiliency. What about the technological advances? You were introduced to the iPad, 4G, internet, streaming and online television, and a zillion generations of smartphones. Here at South, you had to transition successfully from the middle school mentality to that of high school. For some of you, this happened overnight. For others, it may take until tomorrow. You said hello and goodbye to many administrators. Mr. Pat Flaherty, principal, associate principals, Mrs. Kate Dunning, Quinn Trueblood, Mrs. Patton, they all left their positions for other challenges. Then, new principal Mike Trimberger began his reign of terror. Jason Liederman and Chris Hine accepted new roles in the Red Wing administration, and our counselor, Mr. Formolo, is now your dean of students. Honor study halls and the commons and study hall release time are now available. E&I rooms have been piloted. Tardy rules and unexcused absence policies have been strengthened. And you made it through many, many medical lockdowns. And one chicken lockdown. In your lifetime, you have experienced 9/11, the longest wars in U.S. history, the Great Recession, and my singing, and you are still bouncing back. In a Time magazine article, reporter Stein concluded that, quote, a generation's greatness isn't determined by data. It's determined by how they react to the challenges that befall them, unquote. Being resilient, those defining moments. Many of you have faced personal hurdles that will serve as those life ailments. They may have faced you when a family member became ill or passed away, when you faced a physical, mental health, social, or academic issue, or when you recognize that certain expectations that you had for yourself or for others were not realistic. How did you meet those challenges? There are defining moments that either make you who you are or show you who you are. Which would you rather? Our principal, Mike Trimberger, often paraphrases a quote from American educator, reformist Horace Mann, that education is the great equalizer for us all. You all have received a fine education from fine instructors at a fine institution. My hope for you is that your academics provide a smooth starting path for your life's journey, and wherever your journey takes you, may you find personal satisfaction in whatever and whoever you are. So, as we prepare for tomorrow's big celebration, T-minus 19 hours, I want you to think ahead to when you are on the cusp of turning 50 years old, and when 30 years have passed since high school, and you go through your box of memorabilia, when you come across artifacts that maybe Justin Timberlake's song "Years" was the #1 hit, and Iron Man 3 the highest grossing film, will you reflect back over your 4 years at South High as a South High Redman, and how well you were prepared to fly with us? How you were able to soar to your future? I think you are. Enjoy your defining moment tomorrow, similar to how the film character Yentl felt when she was admitted to the yeshiva to study the Talmud. Maybe tomorrow, when you are receiving your diploma at the bowl, you will feel like this. There are moments you remember all your life. There are moments you wait for and dream of all your life. This is one of those moments. You will always remember this stage, these people, the way the light streams down, the clothes you're wearing, the words you're hearing, the faces you're seeing, the feeling you're feeling, the smell, the sound will be written on your mind, will be written in your heart, as long as you travel the past and take what you need to see you through the years. What your teachers learned and the teachers before you will be there for your eyes and ears. You can walk through the forest of the trees of knowledge and listen to the lesson of the leaves. You can enter rooms where there are rooms within rooms wrapped in a cord that learning weaves. I remember South High, everything you taught me, what you gave me, South High, look at what it's brought me. There are certain things that once you have, no man can take away, no wave can wash away, no wind can blow away, and congratulations to the class of 2013. Happy birthday.
Yes.